Good evening, everyone. It is about 6:06. We're gonna give it about 4 more minutes and allow more people to come on. But in the meantime, grab your pen and your pad and all those good things. We are recording the meeting, so we'll have you all will have access to it after the workshop is done. Get your questions ready, and then in about 3 minutes or so, we'll do some introductions, kind of talk through what to expect for the next hour or so. And yeah, that'll be it. It's gonna be exciting. Some really great information. Really excited about this. So I don't have any background music to play, but since you all are muted, y'all can play whatever you want to play in your own backgrounds. So if I see some head nods, y'all might be turning up. It's okay. I probably will. So we will be back in just a second. All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to one of 5 Tech Pivot series that we will be hosting over the course of the rest of this year And then in 2 more months in the spring of next year. This is all through a partnership between Comcast NBCUniversal, the EEDC, and Emancipation Park Conservancy. So Emancipation Park reached out and said, hey, we know you guys work with small business owners, and we have this really cool opportunity that we may be able to provide some tech workshops for entrepreneurs, business owners in the Third Ward community and kind of those adjacent communities. And so we went to work to try to figure out like some of the best things that we feel startup businesses and existing businesses can utilize. So a lot of what you will find are very practical, pragmatic applications that you can use for your businesses. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce myself and Ms. Patrina Johnson with the park, and Ms. Alicia Neal, who is the executive director of the EEDC. So I am John Nichols. I am the business program coordinator for the EEDC. I manage a lot of the programming that with regard to the businesses that we support. So the Third Ward Small Business Training Program, the Resiliency, Third Ward Resiliency Grant Program, and then a lot of the one-on-ones and things like that. We also have another team member, Sheena Sherian, who I don't think is on right now, but she is one of our business advisors and also a trainer of the program. So I will toss the mic over to Miss Alicia Neal.
Thank you, John. I am Alicia Neal. I'm the interim executive director for the Emancipation Economic Development Council. We are very excited to have everyone here tonight and to be presenting this workshop. One of the things that we really realized very early on with COVID, just the impact is just how much it was affecting our small business owners in the community and how much we wanted to be sure we were supporting our small business owners in the community, and how we ourselves had to make quick pivots, quick changes, quick shifts. And so we've had a great opportunity to learn a lot from some wonderful professionals, working with our national networks as well. And so we are very excited to present this. And of course, always happy to be working with Emancipation Park Conservancy, which is one of our partners in the work in Third Ward. So thank you all.
And hello, I want to thank you all again for joining us for tonight's training, sponsored by Comcast NBCUniversal Foundation. My name is Patrina Johnson, Development Associate at Emancipation Park Conservancy. The Conservancy was formed to create a renewed cultural learning and recreational gathering place in the city of Houston. Our mission is to enhance Emancipation Park by preserving its integrity and enriching its heritage as a local, state, national, and international landmark. The Conservancy strives to work collaboratively with its community partners in order to provide educational, economic empowering, and health and wellness content to its constituents. And for this reason, we're so excited to be partnering with EEDC in this TechPivot series. Now, although Emancipation Park's amenities are limited during this pandemic, we do encourage you to visit our website for our virtual offerings at www.epconservancy.org and follow us on social media at EP Conservancy. We look forward to seeing you at the park when it reopens to its full capacity. Thank you again for joining us, and please enjoy the presentation.
Oh man, Patrina, I'm going to go. We want to write down my intro? Because that was good, right? Like I'm embarrassed. No, so okay. So we kind of looked inward and within our communities to find people who were really good at that craft. And so reached out to Attune with Dark Light Studios and Melanated Illuminated. Extensive background in videography and photography, has won so many different awards. You talk from an audio side, a visual side, like all of those pieces, both from a very professional space, but then also as a startup. So as that person who did not have $5,000 to go pay somebody for a promo video or $500 for product photo shoots. Being able to do that on his own, and then what that looks like to scale that up and be able to hire outside professionally. And he is very for the culture and the people. And so I was like, well, this is, you know, the perfect person, and reached out to Stephanie Benson, and she will be giving some insight on the social media app side and the planning and implementation on that piece of it, and who's actually just finished doing one of these workshops a couple of days ago. And so when I talked to her, she was like, this is right up my alley. So a lot of this, again, will be practical and pragmatic. The last thing that I want to share is that I asked that everybody keep their mics muted, and that if you have a question, that you type it into the chat box, and we will try to get to it. We will also we will take a couple of questions, Q&A, after each presenter. Atun will go first. We'll do a question and answer, and then Stephanie will go, we'll do Q&A. And then we ask that when you are asking questions, that you do try to make them as broad as possible. I know we all have personal questions with regard to our business. There's quite a few of us that are on, so if it's something that's more of a deeper dive into your business, we may ask that you just reserve that to have that conversation with one of the presenters at a later time. Cool? All right, so without any further ado, Atum, I'll let you take it over. I'm gonna stop sharing now, and you got it.
All right, can everybody hear me? All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, is everybody able to see my screen? Do y'all still see Zoom, or y'all only see the screen, the PowerPoint? All right, let's go. So just starting off, introducing myself again. My name is Atum Ra, government name Curtis Wallace. Like John mentioned, I have a long, extensive history with independent media, whether that relates to music, broadcasting, podcasting, and also with our community work that we do for local Black businesses. And this is my business partner, Mr. Chris Burrell. Say hi to the people. Yeah, you'll see how we work, and I'm kind of the talker, and he's the worker. But one of the main reasons we're here is we want to talk to you all about creating content on a budget. I was so honored when, you know, John tapped me in order to be here, in order to do this. He is such a great brother, and I want to make sure I let you know that, you know, I salute you, brother. He'll give you your flowers while you're here. And I know he's the reason that a lot of you all are here as well. You know, with us being a digital print media company, we do video production, photography, graphic design, audio production for small clients and also for businesses. And so, you know, some people may wonder why, as a professional photography and print and digital media company, why would we be trying to help people basically do what they need to do without us, right? But, you know, we're going to tell you why you do need professional services. But with that being said, we want to help our people and help our businesses reach the level to where they can afford to hire professionals. So let's go into presentation. All right, so that's a free game for everybody. All right, so like I said, we're here to help you create content on your own on a budget. But the first thing I'm gonna tell you is there is no substitute for professionals in any aspect of life or business. I mean, you all know, you all are small business owners, and you know what you actually do. I kind of compare it to changing the oil on your car. Everybody, you can change the oil on your car, but do you have the time, the effort, the energy, and the tools to actually do that? Or, you know, would you prefer to actually go to a professional in order to get it done? Because as entrepreneurs and as business owners, the number one most valuable thing you have is time. And so you don't want to waste your time not focusing on your vision, not focusing on your business, and not focusing on why you're actually here. You know, if you wanted to be content creators, you probably would be on a how to do a YouTube show, but instead you all are here. So first thing I want to let you know, in creating content, use your available resources. This is kind of it sounds basic, but it's something that we often overlook. You know, we often overlook people that we know around us that are aspiring to get into some of the areas that we actually need. Let's say you have a clothing company like my partner Chris actually has, Wake Up Apparel, and you have friends, family, people that want to be models. They will help you out. They will sometimes go above and beyond in order to help you sell your vision and sell your dreams, because it's also going to be helping them. So, you know, look for, you know, whether it's relatives, whether it's friends, whether it's family, people that you can work with to build a partnership with at the start. And, you know, you'll be surprised when you actually ask and when you actually are living your dream and living your vision, how other people will step up and support you. And I mean, sometimes they'll do it for free. Sometimes you just got to buy them a pizza. You never know, you know, but it's not, you know, always that, you know, you got to have $1,000 budget for everything that you do. All right. Next thing, you always got to remember when shooting content that you have to put your product in some context, right? You always have to be thinking about who is your clientele. You know, sometimes I can speak as myself. I may get into the habit of doing things that I like, right? Things that I may want to watch, you know, podcasts and shows and things like that. Like somebody like me, I'll watch the Joe Rogan podcast that's 2 hours or something else like that, right? And I may make a 2-hour podcast, but that's not where majority of my audience is. Majority of my audience is not trying to watch anything longer than 5 minutes, maybe if it's good, 12 minutes. So me continuously doing 2-hour podcasts is not going to help my business or my entity. The same thing with you all. That's just something to kind of keep in mind as you're shooting. Like, what are some trends that they're into? What are some colors that they're into? What are some styles that they're into? You know, I had several friends that have food companies, and they made a killing riding the wave of that whole Popeyes, Chick-fil-A thing that was going on. And just by putting themselves out there as, hey, here's a small Black company that does that. They were able to ride that wave and garner essentially free promotion. And a lot of their messages were able to spread further than any type of paid promotion that they could actually do. Take inspiration from brands that you trust, right? One of my favorite companies right now at the moment is Tesla, right? You know, even though I don't have a Tesla, I can't afford a Tesla yet, but I aspire to have one. But, you know, when I really look at their model, you know, I watch how Elon Musk uses his mind in order to generate revenue for their company, right? They may have an idea that we're going to build a new car, right? We don't necessarily have the finances in order to do it. So what are we going to do? We got all these scientists and people over here. We're going to build a flamethrower and sell 10,000 of them. That's our capital, right? A lot of people like Apple. Some people like Southwest, Starbucks. You know, just think about your favorite brand and what do they do that you really like, and that could be a blueprint. Now, of course, you know you're not gonna actually have the level of marketing as Chick-fil-A, but at the same time, just the level of customer service, small things like that goes a long way. All right, and the last thing on this slide is to cross promote at every opportunity available. Right? You know, it's funny, Miss Stephanie, as we were on, we were already talking about this before it even started. With us being a digital print media company and our being a marketing company, that's a perfect opportunity of intersection. But look at your, like I said, friends, community, people around you that will be able to help you. And just like right now, stand up, you see, I'm gonna show you see his shirt that he has on. But this is, in addition to Dark Light, Wake Up Apparel, he also runs the Black Texas Pop-Ups, which is a local vendor fair that comes up. And I mean, just us standing right here, you all are able to see the brands for 3 different companies for us being here. So, you know, think about that as you show up to various events and things like that with your friends and with your community. Think about how can you partner up and how can we utilize both of our social capital to help each other, because that will also go a long way. And these are things that aren't just tied to taking pictures and photos and things like that. It could be relation to inventory. It could be relation to logistics. You know, you could know somebody that, you know, has a connection with Amazon or Uber Eats that will be able to help take your business to the next level. Just gonna go ahead and put them all up there for y'all. So save me a little time. So first thing is, does my camera matter, right? I know this is why everybody's here, right? Do you have to go out and buy a DSLR camera? And I mean, if you ask my partner, he would tell you that this is a cheap camera, even though, you know, it ain't cheap. I'm here to tell you, no, you do not. There's no point of you going out and spending money on a camera that you can't even use most of the features for. You know, it's like, you know, owning a Lamborghini in Houston and you're sitting in traffic all day. You know, you're really using all the powers. So the camera does matter, but you do not have to go out and spend $1,000, $2,000 on a camera in order to capture good photos or good video, right? What do we all have, right? We all have this right here. Good old cell phone. And I would tell you, if you're thinking about buying a camera, you might as well go ahead and invest in a better cell phone, right? Because a lot of cell phones today, not only are they continuously upping their quality on as far as it relates to pictures, but your cell phone and your cameras nowadays, they're able to do a lot of the things that you won't be able to do with the DSLR, such as automatically putting your product into focus, right? Getting your color balance right, balancing the sun versus the light, right? That's what I'm telling you. Yeah. He's smiling over here. He's smiling. But yes, that's the number one thing I want to tell y'all. Do not go out. And like I said, unless you are at the point to you want to, you know what I'm saying, actually invest. But I will tell you, by the time you're able to buy an expensive, really crisp camera, you would have been better off just paying for the services. You probably could have got several ones, you know, 3 times over, right? All right. So the next thing is utilize social media features, right? And I'm not just talking about filters, right? Because filters can make your product look bad. But I'm more so talking about as far as it relates to video. You know, when you look at these social media apps, social media platforms, they're allowing regular consumers to do fun things with their videos, right? And those are the things that actually garner the attention of the public, right? And so I would tell you, don't be afraid to try a boomerang, right? Don't be afraid to go live a few times, right? Like, dive into these apps and also do your research on what platform is my audience on, right? You know, if you have a younger audience, you know, you may be looking into a Snapchat or TikTok. Versus if you have an older audience, you might be looking at a Facebook, or even if they still got a MySpace. All right. No, you don't got your MySpace no more? Yeah, see, you still got your MySpace. But no, that's key, and we'll actually talk to that in a little bit, right? All right, so the next thing is personality matters, right? Everyone on this call, you know, no matter whether you're an introvert or extrovert, you have a personality, you have a character, right? Let that personality and that character emanate within your content. You know, think about, you know, just some of the creative things, like, and actually get down into the nitty gritty. Like some people believe that just because they're introverts and they're not really into people, that people won't be interested in their personality. Inject your personality within your content, and that's going to also build within your brand and your product, right? So like for me, you know, it's melanated and illuminated. You know, that kind of embodies the spirit and the essence of, you know, why I feel that I'm here, to help protect my people, in order to help continuously grow, in order to keep growing, right? Oh, okay. Somebody, okay, we're putting in questions. All right. All right, next thing. Don't be a perfectionist, right? I'm not saying put out trash photos or trash videos, but you would be amazed at the amount of people that have content built up, whether it's videos, photos, and they're just afraid to release it because it's not perfect, right? It's not going to be perfect, right? And as my business partner can tell you, since, you know, he has more of the photography and video eye than I do, you know, there's some things that, you know, I'll do, put out, and he'll be like, you know. But for me, I need to get the ball rolling, right? And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with growing. And also, don't believe that your audience and your people, if they believe in you and if they really love your product, that they won't be willing to grow with you as well. I mean, we can all say there are products or businesses that they do a lot of stuff we don't like, or, you know, inconvenient or whatever, but we still get down with them, right? You know, look at McDonald's, right? People love McDonald's, and we all know that ice cream machine ain't never worked, but they, you know, they're down with it. Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, same thing, right? And the last thing is consistency is key, right? You have to stay consistent with posting content, because if you're, and I'm pretty sure that our next speaker is going to get into this, but if you don't have a reason for them to continuously come in this day and age, they're going to go somewhere else, right? There's so many things online that can take people away. So, and I know she's probably going to get into specific apps and things like that that will be able to help you, because as business owners, you don't have the time to sit up and make sure that you get a post every day. But on one day of the week, you can go ahead and schedule all of your posts for the next few days. So that will help you stay consistent.
Atum, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
We'll get into some of the questions that we have in the chat. But can you walk us through, like, what's the best way to capture a quality video, a quality photo? Should we be taking that picture with the filter on already? Should we take it as it is and then add the filter on it before? Like, what is you know, was outside photos versus indoor photos, like those lighting components? Like, what are those? What's that process more like?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna make him talk. Make him learn something. Yeah, this is a great question, man.
So I am in no way as him. definitely more technical. Probably the first step would be research. There are all kinds of resources online. Even me as a professional with years of experience, when I'm trying to figure out how to do something, first thing I do is pull up YouTube. Somebody posted a video about it. And so the first thing you really want to do is just, look into it. But then before you start posting things, take photos. And if you have no experience with cameras, if you don't know what exposure is, what adjusting white balance or contrast is, go in and just take random pictures and then start to adjust them and play around with the features and learn what it actually does. Because the more that you learn, the faster you'll be able to really, you can take and find something online that you like and then take your picture and mess around with the features until you're able to get it to look similar to what you already are, that you find appealing.
And you also always want to keep the original unedited photo, right?
Always edit the copy.
Yeah, edit the copy, because once you start messing with it, you're not gonna be able to go back. So, that is a great question, John. Like, yeah, you always want to take the original picture as is, right? And then save that, and then after that, go ahead, and then that's when you can play around with your different filters and things like that. But never go over the original picture.
Yeah, there's a lot of apps that allow you to take photos with filters on, and really that's just kind of masking things. So you want to take just the raw image, the way that it actually is, and then start editing.
Correct. Any other questions, John? All right. Great question. Oh, last thing I forgot. Yes. Engage your audience. Oh, yeah, they howling, man. But engage your audience, right? Like, people love it when their favorite brands respond to them on social media. Even if it's just a like, even if it's just a heart, even if it's just a simple thank you for following. Engage your audience online. Like, no matter what platform it is, I can tell you people like when their brands engage with them, right? And that, like I said, you don't have to be in the DMs or anything else like that. Like I said, likes, hearts, responses, sharing, things like that. It's these small little things that when you don't have an extensive budget that I have seen really, really go a long way. All right. So, getting into shooting the content, right? Lighting. Want to speak on lighting, brother?
Lighting is everything. You can literally never have too much light, because you can always come back in the editing process and reduce it, but it's much harder to add that light in post, or after, while you're editing it, than it is to reduce the light.
All right. And so we actually, in a slide later on, and I'm pretty sure, John, we're going to make sure that you all get these. We're going to show just some of the lighting we got. Like, one of the ones that you all see right here that we'll talk about a little bit later is a simple ring light that, I won't touch your phone, but you can put your cell phone on, be right in front of it, have the light, and it comes with a tripod. It stays pretty sturdy. But lighting is key. Lighting is everything, right? And especially videos, photos. Never forget your lighting, right? And there are plenty of lighting options out there that you don't have to break the bank on. But
something on that, not just with lighting options, but just with gear in general, cameras, lighting. Don't be afraid to buy used.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yes.
I will buy, before we buy something brand new, we've looked for a used option first.
Oh yeah. 10 times over. 10 times over. And yes, you would be surprised with that. All right. So, something I kind of touched on earlier was, about letting your personality shine through your product, and also putting your product in context. The next thing is background matters, right? Like, be conscious about how you place your product, right? And get creative with it, right? You see our little setup that we have here. We have our brand, we have some of our lights and different things like that in the background. And those are just the little things that appeal to people, and also just can, give depth to your video and give it meaning. And, like, if you actually have people that are, really followers, they'll find ways to notice the little things that you have in the background if you strategically place them, right? But when in doubt, if you don't have an idea about the specific background that you want to use for your product, you can't go wrong with a straight white background, right? Straight white, and that helps to alleviate if you have, let's say, you got little blemishes or holes in your walls or little things like that. You can't go wrong with your product on a white background, right? All right. But yes, background matters, right? Like I said, use the things around you, something that you already have in your house or already have in your business to set that scene. Because, that's the thing, like with videos and pictures, you have to set a scene in order to tell the story. Because, like the old saying go, picture tells 1,000 words, right? And, as far as it relates to your brand and your business, be strategic about how you place those items in the background and also the props that you use, right? Do we have a question? Okay. All right, so get it moving. All right, so next thing is to shoot for the edit, right? Think about where your content is being posted before you shoot it. Why does this matter? Because if you're using a cell phone, whether you're holding it portrait, landscape, that matters depending on the actual platform that you're posting it on, right? So do a little bit of research on the actual platform that you are using and what is the best orientation in order to post that picture on or that video on. The same thing with, as far as it relates to how you're going to edit your video or edit your picture. Think about your audience or who it's for before you shoot it, right? Of course, everybody's gonna get out and just, shoot, and that's the way to learn. But think about those things prior to even shooting it, and then you'll be amazed if you already have a picture in your head. How then after that it'll be just that much easier in editing because you shot for the edit. You shot your picture, you shot your video for the edit. You shot your picture, you shot your video for the specific platform that you're posting it on. That way you don't have to go back and do it again. All right. Last thing on this.
So for those of us that may have websites, and while cell phones are great, you may not always be able to get all of the pixels that you need, or a large enough photo or a large enough file that when you put it on the website, it doesn't diminish in quality. Do you have like a tip for how we can use our phones to capture a really good quality image that could still be used in professional settings?
Like he said before, most phones now default, they have good quality cameras, but in your phone settings, it will allow you to look at the aspect ratio that the actual picture that you're taking, whether or not you're shooting it at a 1920 by 1080, or if you're shooting it at or if you're with video, if you're shooting at 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second, which a lot of that's probably a little more technical than you want to go into it, but like your phones will allow you to to make those adjustments. You just really have to research what is the best option.
Great question. Just I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we actually are going to send you this. But I just listed up some photo video apps that I actually use. Canva, that's a great for, you know, making pictures, making flyers. And the great thing about I like this is because they have presets already based on the platform that you're using, whether it's Facebook, IG, to where they're already going to give you the layout and the template to where you can just go ahead and start dropping your photos and your information on there. You know, it'll help you with the actual placement. You know, it'll let you know whether it's lined up, whether it's center. And they have a lot of good free options. And, you know, if you want to pay basic for some other services, but Canva is very great. Magisto is great for being able to make small videos and mini commercials and things like that. They have a lot of different presets and filters to where you can just drop your video clips in there and then they will help you arrange it. You know, they have royalty-free music that you can actually use and put up on your product. And it's going to help you, you know, do things like transitions, make your video dance, and kind of just give it a vibe and give it an essence. And that's another free app. But, you know, they also have paid plans to where, you know, you can get a little bit better features, a little more options. Yeah, we got somebody outside, well, with the motorcycle. If you are a iPhone user, I'm Android, but if you're iPhone, Imovie is real great. And it also allows you to do a lot of things on your phone without actually having to do it on a computer. And the last thing is the Adobe Cloud. Anybody's heard of Adobe? You know, Adobe, they're all across the board in a lot of different areas. But the thing I like about them is they have a lot of different options for the novice person all the way up to the expert. And they also have a lot of apps that are available for you to use on your phone, and then versus just having to do it on a computer. And so I would definitely suggest looking into the Adobe Cloud because it works across the board, and you can also grow with it. You know, if you're ready to, you know, you can just start with Spark, but you know, you can, you know, move up to Photoshop and Adobe Premiere. And they also, in addition to that, they have the phone apps, but they have the what they would call like Photoshop Express and things like that, to where like if you don't have a great computer to download the full program, you know, they could give you a limited version of it for you to use. So, you know, I always recommend Adobe just because there are so many different options. All right. These are just some links to what I was talking about as far as it relates to the ring light. I also gave you the link for like a full photography lighting kit. You know, if that was something that you were actually looking into with the backdrop to where you can get some bigger lights, and you know, they have a wide range of options of lights as you can see here. And also for a phone tripod stand, this tripod that we have right here is actually for a DSLR camera, but you know, you can add, most of them have features to where you can add a cell phone clip or take it off, but use a tripod, keep your video or your picture from being shaky and all over the place. Use a tripod. Tripods are cheap. Don't skip on the tripod. Just don't skip on the tripod. Don't skip on lights. Don't skip on the tripod. All right, and our last slide is just some quick tips that we have. I know our time is short. Just remember these things. Be bold, creative with your artwork. Utilize hashtags and current trends. Lighting matters. Set the scene or the mood. This goes back to the background. Set that with your picture. Let your picture and your background tell the story of your product. That tell the story of you, right? Utilize different angles, right? Different angles will also give your picture different perspectives, right? And that kind of ties into the next one, which you can research, but learn the rule of thirds as far as it relates to photography and pictures. You learn that, every picture isn't going to be straight, dead on in the center. That's boring, So learn that. Shoot content with a purpose. Shoot for the edit. Consider where you're posting content before you shoot. Humanize your product. People like to see people with your product. Don't just have it be a blank shirt against the wall. Have somebody wearing it. Or your food company. Have some people smiling, eating, laughing. Like, build that human connection to your product. And last thing, be accurate with what you show, right? How many times we looked at these hamburgers and things like that on a commercial, they actually get there and you're like, oh man, what's this dry stuff or whatever. Pretty sure most of us Black owners, and we aren't just selling content. We aren't just selling products to our people, but because we are selling content to our people, we know how our people are. So be accurate with what you post. You would hate to, people say that your photos and things like that are deceptive from how good a quality your shirts are or how juicy and tender your food actually is. All right. So that is all. Do we have any more questions besides what they're doing outside?
There was one with regard to how to select the audience, but I think Stephanie's gonna speak a little bit more to that when she talks on the social media planning side. And then I think you shared a bit on how to figure out how to use the settings on your phone. If you have different phones, you can always go to YouTube and.
Yes. I had that on here, but I took it off because I had a whole bunch of too much slides. But don't be afraid to go to YouTube University. I live there, I live there, and you would be surprised how many professionals like Chris, been doing it 20 years, still will go and learn from others. So utilize the school of YouTube. You'll be surprised when you start typing in stuff, what's gonna come up in the algorithms. Somebody made a video for it. So yes, don't be afraid of that.
Are there any other questions? Feel free to type them in the chat or hit the raise hand feature. Alicia, you had a thumbs up. I don't know if that was your version of raising hands. No? Yes.
No, that was my version of thumbs up. Great job. Thank you. I've taken a lot of notes.
Yes.
Good. Awesome. All right. It doesn't look like there are any questions. If any come up, feel free to type them into the chat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we'll make sure we send you this. It has my email on this. And John, like we promised you, we're going to get with you to make sure that we give everybody that's participating in this special promo code so they can get some discounts on our services. And I will get with you on that because we want to make sure that we do that for the people.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Giving you all a virtual applause. All right, so we are going to keep trucking along, and I'm going to introduce Stephanie. Oh, I'm sorry, Patrina, you have a quick, oh no, that was a hand clap. Okay, never mind. I don't know how to use all of these fun things, so as I just say them, I assume that's something else. Anyway, so we're going to introduce Stephanie, who is has a great presentation that she's put together on social media planning and also a deeper dive into some of the apps. She's actually going to give us some live tutorials on some of the apps and things like that, which I'm really excited for. So Stephanie, go ahead and take it away.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, John, for that great introduction. Thank you so much for selecting me to do this. I really love community work like this. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys about branding on a budget. All right, so I started talking about branding on a budget, and I do this a lot of different places because as an entrepreneur, I could not find any materials that did not make me pay for the information. So you go online, you start doing your research, you get really excited, you'll see something that says, you know, we've got the answer for your social media calendar right here. And after you scroll through 8 pages, it'll be like, just sign up with your email and pay $99.99 and we'll tell you all the secrets. So I'm gonna tell you all the secrets right here today with $0. Get out your pen and your pad and your paper. Everything is not on the slides because I believe in engagement, and I am going to ask you guys to type in the chat, so get ready for that. All right, so let's talk about who I am. I have a Bachelor of Science in Radio Television from the University of Texas at Austin in Radio, Television, and Film. I own Secretly Social Web Design. We are a small marketing agency here in Houston that is making a huge impact. Everything that CJ is talking about, and Chris, I can call him CJ because we go way back to like 5:50 p.m. today. We go way back. Everything they're talking about is absolutely true. It's the same things I learned in my college classes, but you can learn this through YouTube University, which is generally free. I am a Houstonian. I am third ward proud all day and twice on Sundays. I am from this neighborhood. I went to Jack Yates Senior High School. And if you hear sirens in the background, that's because I still live in this hood. So I'm going to apologize in advance for any of that. And I am also a public speaker. I go everywhere and talk about overcoming adversity, whether that's in business or in life or in health. I love to talk to people. So let's talk about this presentation in particular. We're going to talk about planning content, we're going to talk about posting content, and we're going to talk about preparing content. I'm going to go a little bit out of order. Normally you plan, you prepare, and then you post, but I'm going to talk about planning and then posting because I want you guys to get a real emphasis and walk away with actionable items that you can use, usable skills that you will use tomorrow in your business. So we're going to put a lot of focus on how to schedule and post content. All right, so let's talk about planning content. First of all, the first thing you need to do is use a calendar. This is going to be so great to your advantage. So I'm going to talk about real time. Right now, it's about to be November 2020. So what can you do to promote your business for November 2020? The first thing I do is look at the upcoming holidays. You need to use a calendar even before you shoot your content with the camera sometimes, because like Dark Light has said, it will help you to prepare. For instance, if you have a product that you know you want people to buy on Black Friday, then you need to be shooting something with leaves in the background that says something about Thanksgiving, something with a pumpkin to let them know, hey, this product is coming for the fall. And then on Black Friday, you can drop your promotions with your products on it, but it's themed for that holiday season. So if you use a calendar, and I have one that I'm going to provide to you guys for the end of the day for November and December, the first thing to do is look at the holidays that are coming up. When you use this calendar for social media, you want to plan at least 1 month out. So you sit down, and it takes me on average 2 hours to plan 30 days of content. That means I'm not stressed about what's coming up. All I have to do is respond to the comments on my posts. Everything is planned out. I have saved myself so much time by sitting down for 2 hours and focusing on my social media scheduling. So what holidays are coming up? In November, we have Day of the Dead, which is largely a Hispanic celebration. If that is your audience, then that's something that you want to include in your product representation. If you have cute little sugar skulls that you sell, then this is the holiday that you want to build your content around for November. November 3rd, we have Election Day. A lot of people don't want to get into politics, but it's also a good time to speak to your audience and be authentic. You don't have to choose a side or say who you're voting for in order to encourage people to vote or to let them know, hey, this election is going to affect your neighborhood or your small business. there's always a way that you could spend a holiday to work for your product or service. So definitely use a calendar to see what holidays are coming up. What days are unique to your business? This website, nationaltoday.com, lists all of the crazy holidays that have been popping up. When I was young, we didn't have Cheeseburger Day. We didn't have Hug a Teddy Bear Day. We didn't have Grandparents' Day. But all those holidays exist now, and you can go to nationaltoday.com and they list them out month by month and let you know these are the holidays that are coming up. If you have a cheeseburger restaurant, you better have a Cheeseburger Day promotion. Whether the world is celebrating it or not, somebody knows that holiday exists and they can come to your restaurant just because it's that holiday. The next thing you need to figure out is, what is your content goal? The two major goals for content that generally exist are either awareness or revenue. These are different because awareness is just getting the word out about your business and letting people know that you exist. It's not really asking them to do anything forcefully or having a specific call to action. It's just, I want to get the word out about my product or service. Revenue has a specified call to action. A call to action means that I'm asking the customer to do something. So when I'm trying to build revenue, if I'm building awareness, I'm going to say, Secretly Social Designs is here for all your website needs. That's awareness. Secretly Social Designs, website company. If I'm trying to drive revenue, I'm going to say Secretly Social Designs is here for all your website needs. If you sign up by November 30th, you get 10% off. Call us today. So that call us today is literally the call to action. Visit our website. That's a call to action. You're calling the customer to actually do something to engage with your product or service. If your content goal is awareness, then you only need to worry about posting what's going on. If it's revenue, then you need to think about those specials and those coupons that are going to be relevant to your client. So if I'm doing websites, how do I tie that into Thanksgiving? Secretly Social Designs know that you're busy cooking for the holidays and you're spending money on the meal. Let us take care of your small business. Call us today for your Thanksgiving special, 5% off all social media posting. Enjoy your family this holiday. Well, doesn't that sound good to you as a small business owner? Somebody else is doing the heavy lifting while I can focus on my family. So there's always a way to tie it in. Use a calendar, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary folks. It will help you. The next thing to do is to use your brand guidelines. If you do not have brand guidelines, then you need to get with somebody and create these. Secretly Social offers these as well if you're interested in finding out how to create a brand guide. But all a brand guide is your logo, your colors that you use, and your fonts that you use. You can also include a mood of how you want to feel when you're posting and things like that. But you want to have your logo colors and your specific fonts because it makes your branding recognizable. Can anybody tell me in the chat right now, what are the colors of the McDonald's logo? That's right. Red and yellow. The McDonald's colors are very specific. And when you think about McDonald's, you think about the golden arches because they do not stray from their color palette. Even if they do other things that involve other colors, their recognizable branding is the red and yellow. They actually did further marketing research. And if you pay attention, most restaurants use some combination of red or yellow in their marketing because those colors, according to research, actually make you hungry. I don't know why, but I know the research is true. The next thing you need to do is confirm that what you like should also be used for your brand. If I own McDonald's and I like the colors Dookie Brown and orange, that's not really gonna be appealing for a food palette. So what you like doesn't matter as much as what is going to work for your brand, right? You definitely need to have a brand guideline. So this is something that you could literally create on Microsoft Word. It's not hard. You take your logo, you take your color palette, and then you take your fonts and you export that to a PDF, and you can give that to any designer, any website builder, any graphics person, and then they can take your branding guidelines and then use that to create whatever your marketing materials are. When you're looking at colors, you want to keep track of something called a hex color. A hex color is generally a 6-digit or letter number that allows you to know the exact color of your brand. So if I talk to a designer and I tell them my colors are blue and green, they could give me any blue and green, and it does not have to be my blue and green, and it would not be their fault. But if you look at this color palette right at the bottom here, my blue has 363F96. That is my specific blue color out of all the blues that exist. White is always going to be FFF, but if you want like an eggshell or an off-white, that's a different hex color. Your hex color is the exact color for your logo. Also, when you have your fonts, you want to own your graphics. So when you get fonts for your brand, you want to have those downloaded, and it'll generally be in a file called OTF or TTF. If you have those downloaded, you can give them to any designer, and then they'll be able to create whatever your marketing materials are. So when you get ready to do your social media, and you'll see this a little bit later, your brand guidelines are going to be very important. All right, let's keep going. All right, so the first thing you need to do after you have your calendar and your brand guidelines is to assess your audience. Each social media platform is different, but remember, they are all visual. So you want to make sure that your visual things are attractive. According to what Dark Light said, you cannot neglect lighting, right? And the one tip that will save you so much time and energy is, if the light is behind, they're going to be dark every time. When you are taking a photo, if the sunlight is behind the person, they're going to look like a shadow. They're going to appear dark no matter what skin tone they are. If you're in a building and you're in front of a light bulb or in front of some kind of light in a room, if the light is behind, they're going to be dark every time. Turn them around so that the light is facing them, and then it'll be really bright and the picture will look really nice. That'll save you a lot of time and energy. Just remember that one line. So each social media platform is different. Instagram is all about pretty photos. That's what people are looking for. They're looking for pretty photos on Instagram. Facebook is a platform where you can engage people with more words and discussion, because people literally sit on Facebook all day and they want to interact with other people. YouTube is generally about talking to people and also having something visually pleasing in the background. Twitter is all about words. You can still add pictures because every platform is visual, but people want to know your opinion in 140 characters or less. You need to find out where your audience connects with you the most. So if you post the same thing, or you post something on Facebook and you post it on Instagram, and your Facebook got 500 likes, but your Instagram got 20, what does that tell you? It tells you your audience is on Facebook. So then now you know, okay, my audience is mostly on Facebook, so I can still post on Instagram, but I want to spend more time and energy focused on what's happening with my audience on Facebook. You definitely need to check your analytics monthly, because this will change depending on time period, depending on your brand, depending on a lot of different factors. So Facebook could be it this month, but then all of a sudden you start getting traction on Instagram and they're even, then you don't want to neglect Instagram at that point. Say, for instance, you're talking to a younger audience and you have a Snapchat or a TikTok and you don't get any engagement on there at all. Nobody's paying attention to you. But then all of a sudden you have one post that starts to go viral. You want to build on that TikTok audience. So check your analytics monthly. What are analytics? In case you don't know, analytics is literally taking a look at how many people are liking your posts, how many people are commenting on your posts, and engaging with your posts. It's not hard. You don't have to deep dive into Google Analytics if you don't want to. You can literally look at a post and see, okay, 30 people like this one, 500 people like this one. Your analytics can be as simple as that to start off, and none of this costs you any money. If you want to use promoted posts to your advantage, you can spend something as little as $10 on Instagram or Facebook and do a pay for promoted posts where more people will see your posts and you're spending a minimal amount of money. All right, the next thing you want to do is be careful with captions. What is your brand voice and personality? Stephanie, the person, is definitely very bubbly. I told y'all I'm from Third Ward, Texas. I'm not going to lie to you in this presentation. Every now and then a curse word might slip out of my nice, sophisticated mouth. Do I ever do that on social media? Absolutely not. Your brand personality is not your personal personality. People definitely want to see authenticity, so your personal personality can be infused into your brand, but also in text messages all day, I type exclamation points because I'm an excited person about everything. Well, if I do that on social media, I'm going to seem too eager. So you have to figure out your actual brand personality. Stay neutral with your opinions. You are dealing with a product or a service. Unless it's something really, really important that you know you want to engage your brand in, definitely try to stay neutral so that you're not offending or alienating your customer base. Spelling and grammar are very important. If your strong suit is not spelling and grammar, I suggest you invest in Grammarly or have someone in your base or your camp who you know is good with words to double check your captions and your posts. If you have a product or a service and words are spelled wrong and things are grammatically incorrect, people are not going to trust you, and your customers' trust is invaluable. Every caption should not be an offer, but most captions should have a call to action. You want to talk to people about your product or service, and then you want to tell them what to do next. So if I'm talking about Secretly Social and I say, come get a website from us, it's not really a strong call to action. But if I say, call us today, we're standing by to help you, then somebody might actually think, you know, I'm going to go ahead and call them. And don't forget the hashtags. Hashtags are how people find you. Everything on my page is hashtag web designer, hashtag marketing, hashtag Houston marketing, because people search these hashtags when they look for products and services. So be careful with your captions, but use them to your advantage. So let's get into the bulk of the presentation where we talk about preparing content, right? This is once you have all the pictures, the nice pictures that Darklight has told us how to take, we're ready to put something on social media. So you've got your assets in hand. You've taken the nice pictures, you've got the nice setting. What do you do next? Save and back up your photos and videos. That is the first thing you need to do. If they're in your phone, upload them to your computer and then upload them to an external hard drive. Do not just trust the cloud. The cloud is great, but if the cloud goes down one day, your whole business goes down with it. Always have hard copies of everything. And I know we live in an electronic society, but definitely try to back up as many things as you can. If you need to buy multiple hard drives, go ahead and do that, because you don't ever want to lose something that you spent time and effort preparing. Just like they said earlier, and you're going to hear some of the same information because it applies every time, edit copies and preserve your original files. If I have a set of photos for my business, I'm going to make a copy and then I'm going to edit that copy. If you edit your original file and you do something that you don't like and you save it, your original file is gone forever. So that time and effort you spent actually shooting it, you can't get that back. The only thing you can do is go reshoot it. The other thing that will save you time as a small business owner is being able to organize your folders. So if I have pictures for a hat that I'm selling and a t-shirt that I'm selling, and they're all in one folder, at some point, I'm going to rack my brain going through the website trying to find that photo when I could just label one folder hats and one folder t-shirts and save my photos where they go. It will save you so much time and effort. It's a small thing, but it's a big thing in the end. So, do you have to have a big budget in order to work with social media? No, you do not. Be stingy with your money. Use apps that are free. Use the free version until you get enough revenue to go ahead and invest in paid versions of apps. So what app do I recommend the most? I recommend an app called Planoly. This is a social media scheduling app. And all the apps I'm going to talk about today are different types of social media scheduling apps. So what I show you today, you can also use on apps like Hootsuite or HubSpot, which we'll talk about a little bit later. It's the same process. It's just the user interface is a little bit different, but it's the exact same thing. So what you learn here today, you'll be able to use for these other apps. Am I going too fast? Did I lose anybody? Let me know in the chat if y'all still with me. Drop a yes if you still with me. Okay, good. I know y'all know I like participation. I got to see if my people are still with me. Okay, so we're going to schedule some posts for our social media outlets using Planoly. The thing that it allows you to do is if you have all your pictures together and you know what you're going to post, I can plan the next 30 days of my posts. I can move them around to see which posts look good next to each other, or if I want to make a theme for my Instagram, I can do that. If I have looked at my hashtags and I know I'm a lawyer, and the top hashtag in Houston for lawyers is hashtag Houston lawyers and hashtag Houston attorneys, I can save those hashtags so I'm not having to retype them every time and just add that group of hashtags to my post. And also with Planoly, the free version gives you a lot of features, but the premium features also allow you to track engagement on your posts. So it will tell you if you gained or lost followers, or if you got more likes on this post than that one, however it goes. So this is what Planoly looks like, and I'm going to show it to you live in just a second. But on the left is basically how you plan your posts, and on the right is how you go in with an individual post and make things how you want them to be for Instagram. An example of how you make posts look aesthetically pleasing is, this is one of my clients who is a lawyer. So on the left is how her post started out. It was kind of some lawyer posts, kind of a bunch of personal party stuff. And what we did was we're actually going through a rebrand right now. And on the right-hand side, we have this themed out to where it's more aesthetically pleasing. And we start off talking about small business mistakes. Then we talk about a DBA. Then we go into talking about trademarks, because we want her to be seen as an authoritative lawyer in the city of Houston. And once we go through this rebrand, then she can start to add personal posts back in. But one mistake that a lot of people make is your personal social media is not your business social media. They are different. If you want to show personal things on your social media, that's fine in some cases, but in most cases, I would advise that you keep those two separate. So let's talk about the application of Planoly, and I'm going to share here with you guys so you can see how it works. Now, Planoly has a computer version as well, but I use the app version on the phone because it's just easy to use. And for me, for somebody who has experience like me, it kind of gives me an opportunity to do things quickly. So let me go and share my screen with you. Okay, I don't see the option to share my cell phone screen, John.
Give me 2 seconds. Let's see. You should.
Oh, somebody saw they saw Aurora in a photo. You must know Vanna.
Okay, try it now.
Okay, let me see. I don't see it, but that's okay because I can show you guys the computer version, and then you'll be able to do the same thing on your cell phone. So let's see. Excuse the technical difficulty. Sometimes we have to pivot, and that is okay. All right, can you guys see my screen? All right, so this is Planoly. Once you log in, it will show you all of your current social media posts, right? And what we want to do is use the calendar to create our next month of social media posts. So I'm going to show you guys how to actually do this, and this costs you $0. It'll take about 2 hours of your time to plan out an entire month, and then you'll be ready to go. So on the left, we have what my current social media looks like. On the right, we have our calendar. What we want to do is add a photo to our grid. We have a couple of options here. We can pull it from our computer, Dropbox, Google Drive, from Instagram, or wherever we want to pull it from. I'm going to pull a couple of photos from my computer, And I actually had some photos ready on my phone, but I'm just gonna pull some random photos here from my computer. So you guys excuse the photos. They're probably not gonna have anything to do with Secretly Social, but I am gonna demonstrate how you work this. All right, oh, I didn't get my multiples, there we go. Are you being slow? Okay, yeah, it's being a little slow here. It's because I'm on Zoom that it's being a little bit slow. Okay, so Planoly is gonna ask you, do you wanna upload these as a carousel or do you wanna upload them as 4 individual posts? A carousel is when you're on Instagram and you see one post from somebody, but you keep swiping left and they can post up to 10 photos. That feature is called a carousel. We wanna upload these as 4 individual posts. Okay, so when you see this U in the top left corner, that means that this post is unscheduled. And again, you're gonna use these same features in HubSpot or Hootsuite or whatever scheduler or planner that you wanna use. It's gonna show you what posts are unscheduled and what posts are actually scheduled. So when I go inside of the first thing is I can move these around to make them look how I wanna look. So with Secretly Social, I tend to do the middle of my posts are all Secretly Social posts, right? They're all down in one line and they all have the blue and green and the different colors. So if I want to move something to the middle, I can. If I want to delete a post because I don't like the way it looks, then I can take that out. But it shows you what your social media is going to look like and you can move these around. So my first post here, I'm going to go inside of this post and I'm going to type a caption. Websites are awesome. And I like the way the post looks. It's square, so I don't have to change anything, and I'm gonna schedule it. So I'm gonna schedule this one for Halloween at 8:00 p.m. This button automatically posts to Instagram. You wanna make sure that this is selected. And if you also want it to go to Facebook, you can make sure this is selected, and Planoly also gives you the option to post to Twitter. This means that I'm gonna get out of Planoly, and whatever time and date I told this to post, I don't ever have to worry about it again. As long as I'm logged into Planoly and I'm logged into Instagram, it's gonna automatically post everything that I told it to post at the time and day that I told it to post. So I've got my caption, I've got my scheduling time, and the same features that are on Instagram are in Planoly. So if I want to add a location, I can. If I want to tag someone in a photo, I can. And I can also respond to comments from Planoly, but I don't advise that. I like doing it directly from the social media site. So the next thing I'm going to do is add my hashtags. I'm going to click on this hashtag button here. And I have already typed in all my hashtags that I want to use for Secretly Social. I'm going to hit add, and there they are. I don't have to retype those. I don't have to try to copy and paste. I don't have to do anything special. And if I want them to show up at the bottom of the post, I'm just going to hit enter, and then I'm going to hit save. And you're going to see that post now has a little S in the top left corner because that means it's scheduled. And this little A with the paper plane means that it is automatically scheduled. So it's going to send off at the time and date that I told it to send off. Do I have any questions so far about creating a post in Planoly? I'm looking at the questions right now. Yes, the free version does allow you to schedule out posts. The limitation of the free version is it will only allow you to upload 30 photos per month. So if you go over the 30 photos, it'll tell you you've hit your limit for the month and you can't upload anything else. This is a game changer. I'm so glad. I'm very, very glad. Any other questions anybody needs to drop in the chat right now? All right, I will move forward. So let me check and see. Will this work with Pinterest? Yes, Planoly does work with Pinterest, yes. When I first got Planoly, all it worked with was Instagram and Pinterest, but they've been expanding out to other social media platforms. So that's how you schedule a post. Now, once you get your posts all nice and scheduled, you'll see in your grid, it'll tell you when you have a post scheduled, right? So October 31st at 8:00 p.m. is where I have my post scheduled. So if I'm missing any holes or I'm missing any days, you can see it in the calendar because everything you schedule will show up in this calendar right here. Also, if I have a business partner or somebody I need to talk to, or I just want a second opinion, I can hit this share button here. And this is a feature that's actually only on the computer version. It's not on the mobile phone version. If I hit share, it's going to create a link. And I can send these to a partner. I can either send them just the scheduled posts that are coming up, or I can send them just the unscheduled posts and see what they think, or I can send them both. This way, if you send somebody this link and you can either copy this link or you can email it to them, you can have a second set of eyes say, what do you think about these posts? Or can you check this for spelling and grammar? Or can you help me and give me your opinion on what this should be for social media? Then if you pay for the premium version of Planoly, you can also use this analyze tool over here, and it will provide analytics for all of your posts and tell you, did you gain or lose followers? What is going on with your posts recently? Where your engagement is coming from. I lived in Las Vegas, so I have some people from Las Vegas, and then the rest of my people are mostly in Texas. And you can take time and see like which one of my posts got the most likes? Why did it get the most likes? Do I need to do that kind of post again? So we're gonna go back to plan. And you basically repeat this same process for each one of the posts that you want to post. You can continue to move these around. You can continue to schedule them until you get your social media looking how you want it to look. Okay, and let's go back to this presentation. I see another question. Can you design your post in Planoly, or do you advise using Canva to design the post first? I definitely advise using Canva to design some of the posts first, or this app I use called Over. So if you're just posting pictures, you can post those in Planoly, but any specific secretly social pictures I create those in Canva first, and then I upload them to Planoly because it's just easier to design. Planoly is not a design app. It's only for scheduling and posting. So you can do the same thing with Hootsuite and HubSpot. These are other social media scheduling apps. They have the same kind of platform where it'll let you create posts. It'll let you post them to more than one platform at a time, which is what you want. You don't want to try to use one tool for Facebook and one tool for Instagram. Try to use the same tool that'll push it out to all the different social media platforms. And I'm also going to drop a link for this article that I really like called The Best Social Media Posting and Scheduling Tools. I use Planoly. John has told me that he uses Planoly, but if you want to use something different, that's totally up to you. I say use the platform that you like the most. That's going to be the one that you want to deal with. This can look confusing at first, but once you get used to it, it's really easy. You can go to YouTube University to learn. I'm sure you can Google how to use Hootsuite or how to use Planoly. Also, if you go to these websites, hootsuite.com, planoly.com, hubspot.com, they have tutorials on their sites where they will show you how to use their tools because they definitely want you to use their specific products. So I only have a bit more to go through. Are y'all still with me? Drop your yeses in the chat now. I got to know y'all still with me and paying attention. All right. So let's talk about preparing content. This is usually the second step in the process, but I wanted to make sure that we went through Planoly a little bit more in depth. So after you have planned and you know your calendar dates and what you're going to do, you want to prepare your content. This is when you're going to take your pictures. And when you take your pictures, let's talk about editing, right? Because Darklight has already told us about taking pictures. There is an app called Lightroom. It is an Adobe product without the Adobe price tag. They have a free version that will change all the lighting in your photo. It targets all the major components of the photo like contrast and where the light should go. Because social media platforms are visual, you want to put the best photos out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't spend 3 months arguing about a photo, but it does have to look good. This is a huge time saver. This is a photo that I edited in Lightroom. And just like they were saying, utilize the people around you. My mother loves interior decorating. Her house is thebomb.com. This is in her bedroom. It looks like I'm in a nice office somewhere, but we staged her bedroom. I brought in my little notebook and my laptop. Everything else she already had. It cost me $0 to take these photos. And when I put it in Lightroom, it changed the light to make it the best possible photo that it could be. The next app that I want to talk to you about is Pixlr. This is useful for photo editing, specifically the Heal tool, and you can also use the Brighten and Darken tool for specific coloring edits. So with this particular tool, you can play with effects and the overlay for an artistic effect. Write the names of these tools down, go and download them and start to play with them. You can also later go on to stephaniebencion.com, and I'm going to be doing some specific tutorials about these tools if you want to learn more. So with Pixlr, I took this very ugly photo on purpose. I had a large pimple on my face, and using the Heal tool on Pixlr, I was able to get rid of the pimple on my face, and I also changed the coloring to be a little bit more brighter and bring out the redness in my skin. So I also brightened my teeth a little bit, which people do all the time in photos, just to make it look a little bit more appealing. So you see how Pixlr works. The last tool is Over. Over is an app just like Canva. You can use it to build graphics, and it has all of these really nice templates. Oh, sorry, let me back up. It has all of these really nice templates that you can choose from and build your images and build like things for social media. It is so easy to get in here and drop in your image and change the color and make something work for you. You can use your specific color palette from your branding guide that we were talking about earlier, and they have a desktop version online now as well. These graphics have all gone live in the city of Houston, and I made them right there in Over. We have the Library Coffee and Wine House right here on Scott Street. We have the Houston Area Urban League Young Professionals, and Sophista Ratchet, which is my own brand of apparel. But these are really serious organizations, and I made their graphics literally right there in Over, and I scheduled them to social media in the Planoly app. So all these things are very, very important. And one thing I want to leave you guys with also is when you think about branding, the App Store is your friend, right? You don't have to spend a whole bunch of money to have expensive looking marketing. You just need to do the research. And there are people like me who have spent time and hours doing the research for you, so you don't have to. Every time I look at an app, I literally look at no less than 8 apps. If I'm looking at a photo editing app, I will spend hours figuring out the best one, but then I put those together and I give those to people, especially in the Houston community, so they don't have to spend time trying to Google and research and go to YouTube University and figure it out. I've already done the heavy lifting for you. When you think about branding in particular, here's something that I want you to remember. And I really want somebody to type this in the chat for me. People really don't know the difference between branding, marketing, advertising, and content. And I'm going to make it really easy for you right now. Branding is your who. If somebody could type that in the chat for me right now, that would be really great. Branding is your who. What is your brand personality, right? Who are you? Who is your brand? What do they do? And why should I care, right? Marketing then becomes your why. Marketing is why I am doing what I am doing, because people don't generally buy a product. They buy why somebody does that product. Somebody in the chat, if I can't see it right now, but type that marketing is your why. Advertising is your what. It is your what is the product specifically that I am selling right now, right? And then content is your everyday. So content then becomes, this is what I've got going on right now. This is what I want you guys to know. And I'm going to give you guys a real life example. For McDonald's, they are cheap hamburgers. That is their brand identity. That is their branding, right? They're going to market it as I'm loving it. The marketing, the why We all know McDonald's wants to make money off of their burgers, but what did they tell us? We want to see you smile. That is the why that they're doing it. Then when they talk about advertising, what is the #1 product for McDonald's? Most of us would say the Big Mac. So that is the specific product that they're selling you at this time. That is the what. And then their content is just for them to stay relevant every day and tell us what's going on with McDonald's, the brand. Does that make sense to everybody? Any questions about that breakdown? I'm going to check the chat right now. Thank you so much. So branding is your who, marketing is your why, advertising is your what, and content is your everyday. Thank you so much, Denise. And I want you guys to remember that because it will help you differentiate what the difference is. Advertising is for a specific product, marketing is for your entire brand, and advertising is your brand identity. If you look at Apple, Apple has their brand of being technology. Then the marketing is, they don't even really have to try too hard with their marketing because they've done such a great job on their advertising. People know every September a new iPhone is coming out. They have advertised that product so well that they don't even really have to advertise it anymore. So if anybody is confused about the difference between content and marketing, that's the difference. Content is just what you're doing every day to stay relevant. I have a web design company. People don't want me pushing websites at them every single day. They'll eventually unfollow me. So what I did was start giving tips and encouragement, and people come back to my page for the encouragement and the tips. And then eventually I'm going to let you know I create websites and you can buy one from me as well. There is my advertising, but my content is just letting you know what I'm doing every day and how I can be valuable to my customer. All right, drop any questions that you guys have. So you can find me on stephaniebension.com. I'm actually going to be doing some more focused tutorials on all of this soon. I started out with an ebook idea, 10 apps that save my business over $10,000 a year. That's actually going to be set out into some actual courses that you can download because I think that's going to be more valuable for people in this community. But if you want to reach out to me and tell me what you thought of this presentation or have any specific questions, just go to stephaniebension.com. I do check and answer my emails daily. And if you also want to give additional feedback, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. I hope this was valuable for you. I hope you all walked away with something that you can actually use in your businesses tomorrow that will cost you $0 to be able to do. Thank you again for the EEDC allowing me to do this presentation. I'm trying to be the Beyonce of marketing, y'all, and y'all can too. $1 million on a $0 budget.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. You've been awesome. We appreciate it. A couple of things real quick. I know we are running late. My goal was to have us done by 7:30, but that's absolutely fine. Everybody's enjoyed it. Been very informative. Thank you both, Atum and Stephanie, for the insight. There's one thing that I need everybody to do for me. Really quickly, I'm going to post in the chat a survey. The survey literally is only 6 questions and should take no more than about 3 minutes to maybe 2 minutes to complete. Will you all please commit to completing this today? Like right now, this information is important. Not only do we have to report back on this stuff with regards to grant stuff so that we get more money to provide more of these things. So if you don't complete it, then we can't report, which means we can't get more money. So then we can't do anything else to help you. So if you don't complete the survey, then we can't do any more classes, right? See, thank you. So I'm putting it in the chat right now. If you would do that for me. The other thing is to be on the lookout for the next workshop. The next 2 will be the 3rd Thursdays of the month. So the 3rd Thursday of November, the 3rd Thursday of December. We will have some other ones that will be coming out. You can find information for that on the Parks website. All of you, we have your email, so you are all a part of the newsletter, either on the Park side or the EEDC side, so you will get that information. Tell a friend next time. These are open to everybody. We want to make sure that we are able to share this information with as many people as possible. We want everybody to be as successful as they possibly can. Thank you again for trusting us and for being present. Yes, Alicia's posted in the chat. You can tag at EEDC Houston or Eames Houston. Instagram, you'll be able to find us on Facebook, all those things as well. So make sure you go follow. Thank you again for all that you, for being present. Thank you again to our presenter, Stephanie Atum. Thank you, Patrina, for inviting us to be a part of this. And we will see y'all in 3 weeks, 4 weeks for our next one, which will really be good. So I think that is it. Katrina, if you don't have anything, or Alicia, no? All right.
Stephanie, did Stephanie share her information, her contact information, in case we wanted to follow up?
I'm going to send out an email in just a second, actually, with all of the presentations from both Atum and Stephanie, along with some PDFs that they've created, some handouts just for you, and their contact info. So I'll do that right now. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you all. Y'all have a wonderful night. God bless you. That's it.
Thank you.